Good evening, Dolphin fans, and welcome to the FTSN Late Night Show. I'm Bobby Finstock, and we'll shortly be joined by Finn Stanza, who's running just a few minutes late. He's very busy today, but we got a lot to talk about. I was already thinking about doing a show tonight. As DSG would say, I love doing mocks, but just love talking the draft. But there's a lot to talk about now. The Dolphins now have another first-round pick. They had one at 11. Now they got 30. And they got a couple extra picks. So very excited about talking about that, how that impacts Miami, how that impacts the draft. I was already saying they should double down at receiver. Now they've got to at least get one. Now, where do they get the one? Do they get them at 11? You could. You got Mekhi Lemon. You got Jordan Tyson. You got Carnell Tate. Could possibly be there. Does Boston come into play at 11? But honestly, now you could do that at 32. You could skip 11, look at 30. Do you think about Chris Bell, Chris Brazel, maybe Boston if he falls there? But you really don't have to either. Unless you really are sold on a guy, you could wait because you got 4 third-round picks. In the second round, that's where you probably get Bell. Maybe Zachariah Branch out of Georgia. There's a lot of players. This is the year to get a wide receiver and get more than wide receiver. I mean, not just the names I mentioned. I mean, you got Bryce Lance later on, possibly in the third round. You got Ted Hurst from Georgia State. You got either the Indiana receivers. I mean, there are so many guys available for teams, especially some team like the Miami Dolphins, who now their top receivers are guys they just acquired, plus Malik Washington. So Miami absolutely has to take a look at receiver. It's just a matter of where. I was just on Finn's TV. Shout out to Finn's TV, Finn, Sammy, Steve, and the crew. It was an honor to be with them and hang with them. But we were just looking at just all the signings they have done. And I mean, what I love about what Miami has done with this team in free agency is basically almost addressed most of their needs. Now, these are not guys that anybody should be sold as starter. However, these are guys that give you the flexibility in the draft to look elsewhere. You talk about edge rusher, man, David Bailey, Ruben Bain. If one of those two guys are sitting there, I mean, you have to consider them. But what if there's another player there that you really like? Well, then you got a Jobo and you got Oche that you signed. That could probably give you a little bit of flexibility to go move on down or wait till the second or third round, maybe pick up in the second round, Malachi Lawrence out of UCF or Zion Young, or you go further down, Dennis Sutton out of Penn State, possibly with one of your third round picks, Tucker out of Western Kentucky. There are a lot of guys that these signings have given Miami flexibility. Hold on, my mic's giving me a little bit of an issue. See here. Okay, so make sure this works here. All right, good. Forgive me for that part. So the thing was giving me an issue here. DSG says, my goal is they find 3 studs. Absolutely. Look, you got Miami had 9 picks. I don't know how many picks they had to, but now they have 11, right? They got 2 in the first round. They got 1 in the second round. They got 4 in the third round. They got 7 top 100 picks. So, yeah, it'd be great to find 3 studs who are for sure starters. That's awesome. But who has a head but no brain? Tab Verdessa. Love to see you, Rabbit. Duke, what's up, my man? Oh, man. I thought you were talking about me, Rabbit. The baby sister watching live. That's pretty cool. But anyway, top 7 picks in the 7 picks in the top 100. That's awesome for a team that there's no real expectations going into next season. This team is rebuilding, and now you've got the tools or the assets to do that. And yeah, 3 studs would be great. 3 guys who you could come away with and go, man, we got unbelievable. We got 3 great players that we could build on. But really, if you have 7 picks in the top 100, you should come out with 7 top rotational guys. you want 3 good guys, but you want guys who are going to be contributing day one in that first season. No matter what the record's going to be, you want to come out of that next season, come out on the other side of next season and go, okay, yeah, you know what? We hit on 7 of those guys, or 7 of the 11 that we have, or if Miami moves in 7 of the 9 or whatever the hell. Manzana, what's up, my man? Great to see you. Hey, Bobby sent you a few mocks that I did. I'm not sure if you can react to them tonight before you do your mock. I appreciate you, my man. I'll take a look, see if I can. Rabbit, if you're still watching, I appreciate you. My little sister there. Love her. Happy that she was able to tune in for a little bit. Giovanni Foster says, I am stuck between Francis Mauigoa and Mansour Delane at 11. That's the other thing too, right? You would think, my gosh, man, we just traded our that was going to be our number one guy in Jaylen Waddle. We got to get a receiver. Well, not really. Not at 11. I mean, I get it. We could talk about it. There are 3 good guys there. But no, you can still go get Francis Mauigoa or Spencer Fanu, and you can move one of those guys to guard. Or if you trade Austin Jackson, moved one of those guys to tackle. Mansour Delane, they signed 2 corners. I think Jack Jones is still on the roster. I don't have it in front of me. If it's Stange, would let me know. He usually has all that stuff for him. That way I don't have to go through everything. But they still need to get a corner. And Mansour Delane's a really good one. But again, the cornerback position is something you could still tackle on later on. Chris Johnson, maybe in the second round. Colton Hood out of Tennessee in the 30th overall pick. You go to the 3rd round, the 4th round, you're looking at Tarsario Davis. Anthony said I messed it up the other day. Maybe I did. Maybe it's Tacario Davis. But either way, somebody I really like, Will Lee. What position are you taking at 11? And there you go. We can look at that. I'll pull that up right now. So let's see. Duke in the house. Idleman. Odds Achane stays with Miami. So I'm going to say, you can't say with 100% because I'm not going to say 100% for any of the players on Miami's roster that all of them are 100% to stay. Because Sully did not draft him. So there's no 100% odds on anybody. However, I will point this out because everybody, as soon as we traded Jaylen Waddle, everybody's like, what's going to happen to Devon Achane? Are we going to trade Achane? Are we going to trade Achane? First of all, I'm only trading Achane if I get a Godfather type offer, an offer you can't refuse. Other than that, you try to work out a deal with him. Now, if he doesn't accept the deal, you don't want to lose him. You maybe trade him before the season, or you move and try to trade him before the trade deadline for a team running for the playoffs. But I'm not trading unless you get that Godfather offer. I will point out, though, for those who are saying, oh, well, they traded Waddle, this Achane better watch out. I'll just say this. When John Eric Sullivan was brought on as the general manager for the Miami Dolphins, he mentioned 4 players as cornerstones to build this team on, to build around. Devon Achane was one. Jordan Brooks, Patrick Paul, and Aaron Brewer. He didn't mention Jaylen Waddle. The one who interviewed him, Travis Wingfield from the Dolphins, mentioned Jaylen Waddle, and then so he did. So I think their goal is to keep Jaylen Waddle at this point. Now, again, I'm sure the Texans reached out and maybe the offer wasn't good enough and Miami didn't take it. But I'm sure if a team came up and said, hey, we'll give you a first and this and that, because the offer they got for Jaylen Waddle, I mean, my goodness. I mean, I'm shocked. I talked about this on the draft show, the trade, because I was trying to entertain the trade. But I talked about a first round pick, the 30th overall pick, and potentially a 4th round pick. And Fitzsimmons about to join us shortly here. And it was sort of like that. You had the 30th overall pick, the 3rd round pick, and a swap at a 4th round pick. I mean, that's a really good haul for someone like Jaylen Waddle, who I'm very, that was the wish. But I didn't expect it. When I threw the trade offer at the guy from the Broncos for that epic mock, the 30th overall pick, I was assuming he's going to come back and tell me, no, hell no, I'm not doing it. I'll give you a 2nd round pick. But he said, let me think about it. I was like, oh, all right. So talked about it on the show. I go, man, I think that could happen. We had a good conversation with Wingate on the Fitz Talk Draft Show and Coach. And lo and behold, it goes down. So it's a great deal, but it has to be something like that to entertain someone like a Devon Achane. You can get a receiver in the 2nd and 4th, 100%. Giovanni, 100%. Would a team offer a 1st for Achane? I don't know, but if they're not, I'm not entertaining it. I'm not. I'm gonna try to work out a deal with him. Now, come half point of the season before the trade deadline, if you're not coming to an agreement, or it looks like you may lose him for nothing, I think then a real trade becomes a possibility. Before we get into Manzano's, I'm going to look for that. Before we get into that, let's welcome Finstanza in the house, my man. Great to see you. We had that breaking news earlier today. Shout out to Josh Mabry of the Ruckus Entertainment Podcast, who I work with. He, again, like the Malik Willis deal, he goes, Bobby, have you seen Twitter? No, I haven't. I'm working. I mean, I do watch Twitter, but I wasn't. I agree. Don't force the trade. But he puts it up a thing, and I see Waddle's picture. Waddle traded to Broncos, and I flipped. And before I can even grab my phone to call Evan, Evan's already calling me. And so we discussed it, but I'll let him discuss it with you. Anthony, your reaction to Jaylen Waddle getting moved today and the picks we got back.
Good evening, everybody. Sorry for my tardiness. I had more important places to be. Not that you're more important, but some important friend stuff that just the same way that Bobby's my brother. I had to be there to support an old brother of mine, and I'll share that with Bobby after the show. But you have to be there for your friends. When I saw this trade, I was very happy about it, and I'll explain to you why. Jaylen Waddle is not a Jeff Hafley, John Eric Sullivan player. When they drafted Jaylen Waddle back in 2021, 21, I was concerned about the pick because there were players on the board that they could have taken at 3. There were players on the board that could have taken at 12. There's a player I would have taken higher than him at 6 if they would have after they traded up. He had a great rookie season because he was a security blanket, got 100 receptions. But then when Tyreek Hill came a knocking, he had a 1,000-yard season playing behind him. He was a second wide receiver. When Tyreek Hill was injured, Jaylen Waddle never took the actual reins as the number 1 wide receiver in his own right. He got the extension the way that all the other people did, whether you were Jalen Ramsey or back in the day, Xavier Howard or Tua Tagovailoa. He was getting money that he hadn't earned yet. And yes, there's a cap hit that we have some dead cap hitting us this year. We have $175 million in cap space, in dead cap. He's getting $33 million in cap, eating into cap space next year. He's been an excellent Dolphin. Fins for the win. Love Jaylen Waddle as a person and as a teammate. But people are saying, well, who's Malik Willis going to throw to? Well, this year, Bryce Young in Carolina had Tate McMillan, rookie. This is a very deep wide receiver draft. And I believe that Jeff Hafley and especially John Eric Sullivan, Sully, are going to go out and draft wide receivers. They're going to have a lot of cap space in June where receivers are still going to be available. And I believe that whatever they think is right, none of these players, or people are talking about Bobby, about Quinn Ewers. Oh, Quinn Ewers should compete. Quinn Ewers is not John Eric Sullivan's pick. So yes, Devon Achane is a star player. Jordan Brooks, great player. Aaron Brewer. But you cannot tell people who have to eat all this cap space and all this dead cap what the right thing because in the end, what's the most important position? Quarterback. They were convicted and went to get a quarterback at a really good salary and taking a chance. I would still draft a quarterback in this draft. I would draft a quarterback in next year's draft. But to get Jaylen Waddle for a first and a third, and to swap fourths, and to have 7 picks in the top 94. Sully wanted to have 10 to 12 picks. He already has 11. Now, you'll ask me about the next possible trade if it happens. I'm not looking at the comments right now. I'll look at them now because I'm focused on you, Bobby. Jaylen Waddle being traded. You see people, I'm not going to name names, but I'll just say whether it's Brittany or whether it's Doll, people like their players because of what they do for their people.
I'm not going to say names. Continues to say names.
But like they're in their feelings, right? They're in their feelings about players.
Sure.
I now have jerseys of Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, Jaylen Waddle that I'm going to wear with pride because they're still Dolphins jerseys. And I was proud of their time as Dolphins for what they contributed to the team. But this is a new foundation for this team. And when you look at I don't know if you remember this, Bobby, DK Metcalf, this is a great chat. I don't know if you saw this. DK Metcalf went for like a fifth and like a sixth. It wasn't for a lot, and they had to sign him to a $120 million contract. The fact you're able to unload someone making $28.5 million this year, yes, you're eating a lot of the cap space now, but next year you don't have to pay that $33 million on your cap space. So the cap is going to go up. They're going to have over $100 and something million in cap space, Bobby. They're going to have so much cap space next year, and they're going to have all their draft picks. And so, this is good. They don't realize the rebuild is not a rebuild. It's a readjustment. It's a retool. And if you build, and I'm starting to tell you this, Bobby, I don't know if you heard me because you may have stepped away. Who was one of my top guys that I wanted the Dolphins to pick at 15 this past season? Do you remember who? A wide receiver.
Oh, yeah, from the Panthers. Yeah, McMillan.
How important was do the Carolina Panthers make the playoffs without Tate McMillan as his number one wide receiver for Bryce Young this year? Do they make the playoffs without Tate McMillan at wide receiver? Probably not. Again? Do the Carolina Panthers make the playoffs without Tate McMillan? Because if you remember, when the Panthers played us in Carolina, we played them in Carolina, you know who had a great game for the Carolina Panthers? Tate McMillan. This is a very deep wide receiver draft. Ted Hurst, in the third round in the 90s, I'm happy to go chase Ted Hurst. Like you're talking about Mekhi Lemon. I don't mind going to Mekhi Lemon at 30. If Mekhi Lemon makes it at 30, the Jaylen Waddle was a great player, but he was not a championship leading player. Like Tua, he was not a leader. He was not a leader. He was just a player on the team. And just because you like the guy, this team is not about likable people. It's about building a foundation of good, strong players. And the culture, they're trying to rid themselves of the culture. Yeah,
not the logo.
They're trying to rid themselves of the culture.
Older logo.
And I'm sorry, Achane is an anomaly because Achane is, I'm sorry to tell you this, Achane was picked in the third round. Jaylen Waddle was picked sixth. Tua Tagovailoa was picked fifth. And on offense, the best player on offense this year was the third round pick. Yep. And it's not even close. So to get a first rounder and an additional third for Jaylen Waddle out of the division, phenomenal piece of GM-manship from John Eric Sullivan.
And look, I see the names in the comments, right? They're throwing it out there. And first off, DSG, man, you're amazing. You know, I love everything you're saying. It makes me laugh.
What's he saying about me? Is he giving me props?
No, he's just saying this is my 40th draft, 30th draft. I have the draft board already up in my head.
But he already said Finalizing number 1. So
Breakfast with Bobby. Yeah, that's my new show. I have the late night show, and I'll have the morning shows at 6 a.m.
By the way, late night show, kudos to me. I'm an hour behind. I'm an hour ahead. It's almost 11 where I am, but I love this. I love this stuff.
Yes. So Adrian, appreciate you, my man. Yes, it's a standing desk. Yes, and I feel good doing it. It gives me a little bit of freedom.
Bobby, next time I'll do my standing desk. Okay, it's right here.
Yeah, I
don't want to make a mess of myself.
No, you're good. Let's see, honestly, how much he's jumped up in the boards. I say Bryce Lance at 30. Again, I don't sleep on anybody at any pick just because the draft is like that, right? Manzano, we've seen that enough. Evan, where players to just jump. Bryce Lance is flying up boards. I mean, this is a guy that people go, we get him in the 5th, you get him in 6th. You might have to go grab him in the 3rd. I mean, that's how much he's right. But he has speed, he has size, he has what you got. That's what I was saying earlier. Yeah, it'd be great to get a receiver if you could. I mean, if you believe in that talent enough, at 11 or 30, you get your guy. However, you can make a case that you don't need to do that. You will go get a receiver with size and speed in the 3rd round. I mean, again, Ted Hurst, Bryce Lance, Caldwell later than that. There's a lot of guys. Again, one player that I loved, and I would get him in the 2nd. I'd get him with the 30 is Chris Bell out of Louisville. That's a dude
Ted Hurst in the 3rd.
Ted Hurst. Dude, people, he played for Georgia State. Yeah, he played great competition. But
who cares?
That kid is a star. Anyway. Well, I want to do this quick because I don't want to forget it. We'll keep going. We'll keep talking. Bernard from Alabama, that he's a good receiver as well. There's a lot. This is the thing. This is a great draft to need wide receivers.
Bobby,
You look what?
How giddy should we be? How giddy should the FTSN be? This is our third year doing the draft show. Like doing the 7-year draft. This is our third year, right?
Oh, you mean the full draft? The full draft.
Full draft. Third year. Coverage, yeah. We have more. I feel like we have more picks this year than we did in the last 2.
Yeah.
Like we're going to be talking Dolphin. Like all of us are going to be clamoring. We're going to do the whole draft, but the first day is going to be phenomenal because we have at least 2 picks. They're not trading another first rounder away. We're going to keep those. The second day is going to be insane. Bobby, the third round, we're going to be picking like 4 picks in the span of 20 picks. It's phenomenal.
4 picks in the top 100.
We're probably going to trade back. I guarantee you, I wouldn't be surprised if we trade to back again.
Well, that's my thing. I was going to say that again. At 11, you're sitting there at 11. Don't be surprised that Miami trades back and trades down in the first round and gets another draft pick in the mid rounds. In regards of the injuries, I understand McCoy. McCoy gets me a little bit because he didn't play at all. I'm still grabbing Bell. I think this guy could be a number 1 guy for a team.
Will Johnson.
Love him. I'm not sleeping on Caleb Downs. Maybe he falls, and if he falls to 30, if he falls to 20, if you trade it down, you go grab him. You don't pass up on talent. Those guys are ultra talented. Caleb Downs is far and few between. Chris Bell is a playmaker. He plays big. He plays fast. 4.4 speed. I mean, I'm not passing up on that guy. But I understand the concerns, but I'm not passing up on him.
I don't care about wide receiver. Guys, injuries, I'm going to say one word. If we threw a poll on Twitter, do the draft again. Take Will Johnson, who went 39th, or take Kenneth Grant, who went 15th. Everyone was so concerned about Will Johnson, how quickly he fell. Will Johnson was one of the best rookies in the NFL this year, playing on a really bad team.
Yeah, that's the thing. You see, anytime it comes to the draft, I understand the idea of man, I just don't feel comfortable getting at this player because of a certain injury. Watch the film, study the medicals. You see it, but now does he have a longer career than Kenneth Grant? Does Kenneth Grant have a longer career to him? You want guys who can contribute, like DSG says. I want to hit out of 3 out of 5 out of the 11, 100%. Again, we have 7 in top 100. I hope we hit 6 out of 7 or 7 out of 7. That's what I'm looking at.
6, 7.
6, 7. You just never know, Finn Stanza. DSG. Again, I would have been all over Jahdae Barron. So that degenerative ACL that Downs has scares me because a lot of orthopedics say that there's not an injury that can recover from even with surgery. We'll see. And I wonder how far that pushes him down. And again, maybe it's a short-term guy. You get him. Maybe it's a play. That's the thing. What's going to end up happening in this situation, Anthony, with Caleb Downs, if that's really the case, if that's a true medical and teams start getting scared off him, he's going to fall into the first round. And some team that's a playoff team, Buffalo, New England, Denver, whatever, not Denver now, but one of those teams are going to pick Caleb Downs up and they're going to have him for 4 or 5 years, whatever. And guess what? They're going to make a playoff, a Super Bowl. People, man, we can pass the Caleb Downs. You need guys who can contribute day one. You need guys who can contribute and get you to a play. He's one of those guys. But I digress. What, Evan?
I'm jealous of John Eric Sullivan. Like, Bobby, being a draft nerd that you are, and I'm proud to be a draft nerd now too. If you're John Eric Sullivan, you've literally gotten rid of every single stupid mistake. And I can read you guys. I want to read them to you. This is the cap space. This is the Greer special. Tua, $50 million in dead cap plus. Tyreek Hill, 28.2. Jaylen Waddle, 26.3. Jalen Ramsey, 20.9. Minka Fitzpatrick, 13. Bradley Chubb, 10.9. Teron Armstead, we're still paying him 10.7. James Daniels, 4.8. Zach Wilson, 3.8. Alec Ingold, $2 million. Jonnu Smith, 1.7. Nick Westbrook-Achane, that was phenomenal, 1.6. Matthew Judon, 1.4. Jason Sanders, 663. Cam Smith, we're still paying Cam Smith dead cap, 528. Mohamed Kamara picked in the sixth round.
All night. I know,
160K. That's $175 million of Chris Greer mistakes. He made it all poof. And you want to know what? And he's still gonna. And he's, by the way, and he's still got likely a top 15 quarterback this year in the NFL. And if it doesn't work out, he still has for $100 million in cap space to go do whatever he wants next year. And on top of this, with all this, he gets $20 million in cap space post June 1st. And he gets to pick 11 players.
Yeah.
Bobby, is this better than Christmas? This is Christmas for the Dolphins.
I talked to you on the phone earlier today, and you heard me on that phone. You heard how giddy I was, and that was not more getting rid of Waddle, because we love Waddle. Waddle's a great guy, and he was a bit.
It's a new day.
You have to do this. This has to happen. You have to strip it down in order to move forward. And again, oh my God, how can we get rid of Jaylen Waddle? And
it's a new day. Yes, it is.
I just want to say,
I want to pull a
Manzano says, you guys really think Hafley and Sullivan are going to draft injury-prone players? I don't think so. First off, getting a bad injury doesn't make you injury-prone. And secondly, we don't know them. We don't know their medicals. I'm not going to say that I think anybody's going to trade or not draft anybody, because we don't know. But if they look at Chris Bell's thing and they say, okay, he has that ACL, but he's going to come back stronger, better, whatever, you go get him. You go get him. Now, yes, it's true. If any team looks and they go, damn, dude, man, Caleb Downs, let's say it's degenerative. Man, I'm talking to our team doctors. They're saying this is, damn, I would love to get him, but we can't. Let's go get Emmanuel McNeil Warren and do that. Yes, but I'm not going to put anything. Let's see here. 175 right out of Bobby's. Yeah, shut up.
By the way,
Purge.
Rainy day, Adrian loved my Bootios comic because it's a new day. Yes, it is.
Yeah. I was on with Adrian right now on the Finn's TV show, Finn's TV.
I don't get invited to those shows anymore because Sammy doesn't like me anymore.
Evan skipped out.
I wasn't invited.
I know. No, it was a good show.
But I will tell you, I hope you guys had a good show. I didn't have a chance to watch it.
No, I just want to tell you, based off your point with the giddiness and everything else, because you said even if Willis is not great this year, you go get a guy next. But we were just talking about that, and the point to that is you got every Dolphin fan, and Finstanza, and I promise I'm going to do this because I know me and Finstanza are going to have that discussion during the season where I'm going to have to say Finstanza, because I would say don't go into this season. We can all have predictions, but I'm not going into the season with expectations. My expectations are to watch players grow. How do players react? How do they develop? Like if Malik Willis struggles in this offense next year because of what happens, I'm not going to put it all on. I'm not going to give up on the guy. You got to let this development grow. You got to let this team grow. So it is what it is. I don't want to get too excited and this bite me in the ass. I'm waiting. That's the point. That's the point. Exactly, Anthony. Exactly. Go ahead.
In honor of Russ Morgan, we'll have a breaking news. Venezuela, thanks to Eduardo Suarez's key double in the ninth, have beaten the USA.
Wow.
In the World Baseball
they just
Classic.
tied it.
Congratulations.
Wow. Okay.
And by the way, karma is a beep, not to the US, but to the fact that they should have robo umps and be able to do this, because I'm sorry to tell you this, that called strike to end the Dominican Republic game against the US.
The umpires
was awful.
All
baseball
series, the Puerto Rico game really pissed me off too. So anyway, Dade County Slim, what's up, my man? I could see them trading Achane for a second or a third. I don't know about a third.
Congratulations to Venezuela.
But appreciate you tuning in, my man. And thank you for your comment there too. Let's see. But Anthony, you're right? That's the whole point. And no one should go into this season overly excited. What I'm excited for is the setting of the new foundation of this football team with these draft picks, Sullivan and Hafley's vision, and letting these guys develop, right? Because if let's say Tolbert or Tutu Atwell, and you see Malik Willis, and man, they had a great year. They had some great game spots. Like, this is something we could build on. That's awesome. But if we see them like in and out, blah, 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 and they're not on the field, or they're getting injured, or they're dropping passes or whatever, then those are guys we're going to drop. I don't know, man. Seahawks need to replace Kenneth Walker. Devon Achane? Yeah, a first-round pick. Again, a Godfather offer. That's what I'm taking. Everywhere I look, I see Bobby. You get around, brother. Yeah, I know. Anyway, I'm loyal to Achane too. I'm not touching Achane. Again, it has to be a Godfather offer. An offer I can't refuse. Anthony says, no soup for you, Evan. So let me go over Manzano's very quick. Manzano's mock drafts very quick. He has 2 that he sent me. See here, I don't want to go too crazy on the trades, but he did trade Achane. So in this mock, so Manzano, put the comments what trade you made. Tell me the trade you made for Devon Achane to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That I want to know. But here we go. So he traded down to 15. He got Monroe Freeling, the offensive tackle. He got a guard from Texas A&M, Trace Basantis. He got a safety, Emilio McNeil Warren. He's using the PSFN draft board or mock draft. He got a corner out of Ohio State, Davidson Agbinosin. He got edge rusher Danny Dennis Sutton. I like that. Takario Davis. I love that. I like Warren too. Freeling. Another safety, Zaki Whitley out of Penn State. Loving it so far. Minus Devon Achane. Don't love that. But Kendall Daniels, linebacker out of Oklahoma. Another linebacker, Lander Barton. And edge rusher Anthony Lucas at 130. That's the final pick in the first mock, and got a Kansas City 3rd round pick. Picks acquired or the picks traded. Okay, I see that. All right, so now let me see if he mentioned anything with Bobby. Let's be realistic. Based on the actual value of running backs, you really think we're going to get a 1st round pick for stop? He's not just a running back. Like, first of all, have you seen Devon Achane? Have you watched Devon Achane the past season? Past 2 seasons? Like, it's not about the position. Let's talk about the player. Evan just brought it up. Evan just hit the home run. It was like the World Baseball Classic. I just saw him hit a home run. He said our 3rd round pick, Devon Achane, not our 1st round top 5 overall, Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback. Not Jaylen Waddle, our 1st rounder. It was our 3rd round pick, Devon Achane, who is our best weapon on offense and our best offensive player. Stop calling him just a running back. He's a receiver. He's a running back. He's a decoy. He's a top 5 player, top 10 player in the NFL. You can argue about top 5 running back. I saw it today. Brett Legassi and Dolphins Realtor. Shout out to Dolphins Realtor for awesome content on Twitter. People need to stop disrespecting Devon Achane. He's not just a running back. So, yes, I think you could get a 1st round pick out of Devon Achane. I think that's what he's worth. I wouldn't touch him unless you're giving me one. Unless you come to me and say, I'm going to give you a 1st round pick. Let's have a conversation. I'll give you a 3rd round pick for him. Get the hell out of here. You ain't touching Devon Achane for a 3rd round pick.
Can I respond?
Yeah.
Okay. Whose jersey's behind me?
Devon Achane.
Who was the biggest troll of Devon Achane in the 2025 season? Finstanza.
Yep.
Let me tell you what I think about Devon Achane. The only person who's going to decide if Devon Achane is going to be in Miami is Devon Achane. John Eric Sullivan knows what he has in Devon Achane. It's not his player. Typically, they don't find running backs that size, but Devon Achane is the best player on this team, and it's not even close. You can use him in you think Bobby Slowick doesn't want to keep Devon Achane? He could be a wide receiver. He could be a scout back. He's deceiving in all ways. He's able to break tackles. The only person who may not want to be here and go through the retool is Devon Achane.
Yeah.
If Devon Achane is not a Dolphin, it's not going to be because John Eric Sullivan wants to trade him. It's going to be that Devon Achane might go to John Eric Sullivan and says, I want to go to a team that's more established. But if someone comes to me tomorrow, unless it's a similar trade to Jaylen Waddle and it's outside division, I'm not making a trade for Devon Achane. To me, Devon Achane in this season, there are 4 players outside of Malik Willis. There are 4 players on this team that you don't touch. That's Aaron Brewer. That is Patrick Paul. That is Devon Achane, and that's Jordan Brooks. Everyone else is expendable to me. Everyone else is expendable, including Zach Sealer. Every player on this team, except for those 4 core glue guys, 2 on the offensive line, 1 on defense, and 1 at running back, everyone else is up for grabs if the right pick is there or the right trade is there. Devon Achane is a Miami Dolphin for as long as he wants to be a Miami Dolphin. Jaylen Waddle was fine being a Dolphin, but John Eric Sullivan saw a better opportunity. Unless Devon Achane walks into John Eric Sullivan's office and says, I'd like to be traded, which obviously he's not going to spread out and then the other teams don't know it, he is not going to be traded. He will be re-signed and extended after June 1st.
Bobby, the return I got was 15 and 46 from Tampa for Devon Achane and number 11 and 90.
Wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that.
I'm not giving up. I'm not swapping first-round picks for Devon Achane.
Yeah.
I'm getting an additional first-round pick.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
If I have 3 first-round picks, if someone offers me a first and a third for Devon Achane and Houston offers me that, and I have now 9 picks in the top 100, I wish you all the best of luck, Devon Achane.
So the second mock draft for Manzano, I want to make sure I get this out.
What does he have? He needs a mulligan? He needs to do 2?
He did too. That's okay. So he traded down to 19 from 11 to 19 and got 11 or traded 1175 and got 19. Drafted with the 19th pick, the Penn State guard, Vega Ione, I'm probably butchering that. Blake Miller got with the 30th pick, Clemson. So he double dipped on O-line. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren at 43. Takario Davis at 81. Will Lee, Texas A&M. Safety Zaki Whitley from Penn State. Linebacker Kendall Daniels, linebacker out of Oklahoma. Landale Borton again, linebacker out of Utah. So 2 guys. So kind of repeated here. Eli, he double dipped at tight end. Eli Raridan out of Notre Dame, who has met with Miami. Tanner Koziel out of Houston. Drafted quarterback Sawyer Robertson out of Baylor. And drafted wide receiver Deshaun Stribling out of Ole Miss. And got a 2nd round pick for next season with Carolina. So I like that one. That one's not too bad. So retiring soon in South Carolina. Oh, look who it is. Great to see you in here, my man. He says, realist H and Jeremiah Smith is the Super Bowl hope. Every decision should be in an effort to swear. I would absolutely love Jeremiah Smith on the Miami Dolphins. 100%. Evan, give me 1 second here. I'm saying goodnight to my oldest here. She's here to say goodnight. So
good night, Audrey. Do I get a good night from Audrey? Love the late night grind or low. With Sealer contract, we would be lucky to get a 6th round we do not have. I don't think they're going to trade Zach Sealer. I think they still need him as a linchpin as a captain. I said I would trade him, but no, they would not trade. Zach Sealer will cost you more on the cap, so I wouldn't trade Zach Sealer for anything less than a 5th. But I think they're happy to keep him on the line. The line will be way too weak without Zach Sealer, unless they get something in maybe a 5th. I would hope for maybe a 4th, probably not, but maybe a contending team wants Zach Sealer. But right now, I think they're very content with keeping Zach Sealer. He's the one good thing that Chris Grier has done in his career with the Miami Dolphins is bringing in Zach Sealer. So I'm fine keeping him. I'm just saying that he is expendable in the sense that if a right trade came about, I'm okay taking a chance there. I'm just saying who the 4 key or replaceable ones are.
So. Sorry, guys. Okay.
I was just talking about because you mentioned Sealer about getting a 6th. I go, I'm not trading Sealer for a 6th.
With Sealer's age and contract, we should be lucky to get a 6th round pick, which we
Sealer is still valuable in the league.
He is, and I think a 6 a little low, but I understand.
I would say a 4. I would say a 4.
I think 4th, 5th round. I think 5th round's probably the lowest, but 4th round's the highest.
I could see a late 4th round for I could see a late 4th round for a contending team.
Yeah. Let's see here.
And by the way, I don't think they're going to do it because it adds more dead cap. Trade Zach Sealer.
Yeah. Let me make sure.
This is
here.
so much fun. This is lo-fi.
But yeah, I really cool seeing retiring soon.
Lo-fi.
It's
I
got
love
SD.
lo-fi.
Love the idea. Like again, like I even if we get 2 receivers this year, if you're in the ball, if you need, let's say Malik Willis is great, and you don't need to get a quarterback, go get Jeremiah Smith. Don't miss out on Jeremiah Smith, man. It's like Arch Manning, Jeremiah Smith. But anyway, I want to shout out first off everybody who's watching right now. We appreciate you all tuning in, taking the late night hour here. It's 11:13 Eastern time on the. It's 10:13 for me. But appreciate you all taking the time to hang out with us, talk the Dolphins, big trade news. Dolphins trading Jaylen Waddle. We got an all-star all-star comments in the chat there. We got Adrian of the Rainy Day Podcast. Go check him out in his channel, like and subscribe. You got the infamous DSG in the house. Love that guy. Love everybody here. Lo-Fi, Ritter, retiring soon. Alonzo 29, Waddle, everybody, Manzano, Idleman, Foster, Steve Malloy, host of Real Talk Fins Talk. Got them all here in the comments. Forgive me if I'm missing out on you. Terry Lynch, everyone watch, appreciate you. Fins Talk After Dark, I love it. Fins Talk, the late night show, FTSN, the late night show, of course, sponsored by Caneswear, where you shop anywhere. Canes, Dolphins, Marlins, Heat, anything South Florida. Go check out Caneswear on caneswear.com. Or if you're in South Florida, not Canada or Tennessee like myself, 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. Go check them out. Awesome crew there with Brett and the gang. Evan, what were you saying, my man?
What was I going to say? It's going to come back to me. Oh, the comments that bother me most today is when people traded Jaylen Waddle. Oh, look who Malik Willis has to throw to.
Yep.
What is this nonsense?
I said the same thing. I was like, have you not watched the game?
That's your retort? By the way, when Tyreek Hill went down, I said to myself, look who Tua has to throw to. Honestly, I would like someone to tell me in the last 3 seasons, what country has Jaylen Waddle helped you win a football game? Once. No. He's a complimentary wide receiver. He's not a one.
No, love him to death. I'm going to be.
I love him.
Waddle. I
like
Jaylen
him as a
Waddle,
person. He's not a J.
He's an R.
He's Drake London to me. He's Drake London to me. He's Christian Watson to me.
WR2.
Right?
Yeah. Well, give me Christian Watson. Bryce Lance is that guy if you want a Christian Watson. Hog Dog 165. Hit the like button. I appreciate you, Hog Dog. Yes, if you're just watching, do me a favor. Hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, whether you love us or hate us, hit the subscribe button so that way you can always yell at us or praise us. We appreciate you. We've got a lot of great content here on FTSN. We got Fins Talk. We got Canes Talk. We got Heat. We'll be talking Heat on East Century Boys tomorrow with Alex and on East Century Boys. We got
Can I say back? I can't
WrestleMania.
I can't say Bam is overrated anymore. Eh?
Can't say Bam's overrated. Can't do it. Won't do it. No Holds Barred Wrestling on Saturday at 5 p.m. We're doing WrestleMania 4 rewind now. We did WrestleMania 3. We got WrestleMania 4 coming up on Saturday. We're watching that. We watched that before and discuss it later. And then, of course, Sunday night, we got the Fins Talk Draft Show with Wingate, Coach, and myself. Talk about the big trade. We'll talk about Makai Lemon. We'll talk about all that. But anyway, how can anybody hate that babyface Fin stance?
I've been on a roll lately.
So, disagree. Waddle good against his own. Disagree with that. Waddle's not is a number one receiver. That he's not a number one receiver. You think he is? Let us know, my man.
What has he proven in the last 4 years? Unfortunately, he wasn't.
Again, I will say though, what has the team proven? There's others. I told you this the year before. Devon Achane and who was our tight end the year before?
Jonnu Smith.
They were the outliers. They were the only consistent players we had on a team. Everyone else was,
Devon Achane.
I said Devon Achane and him were the two.
Jonnu Smith. It wasn't Jaylen Waddle.
Jonnu Smith. I know that. I'm saying Jaylen Waddle. The whole team, other than those two guys, were not consistent. What? Yeah. Oh yeah. Gerber faced him. Yeah. I'm saying that. That's my point. Anyway, so I don't really. That's the problem. People say, oh, well, does Malik Willis know what's happening? Did he knew this was going to happen? Now he has no weapons. Have you watched the past few years? Let's be real. Like, yeah, if you look at the numbers, they're great. But if you watch them in games.
By the way, I hate to break it to you. If someone told me tomorrow, who do I want running down the sideline, catching a ball 40 yards down the field? I'm going with Tutu Atwell over Jaylen Waddle to catch those deep balls. I don't know what Jaylen Waddle is. Is he a slot receiver? Is he a deep threat? Is he like? By the way, when Brent was praising this trade today, we got a first round pick. We got a first and a third. Are you in the NFL at this point when you basically are rebuilding and you have to trade him in division? It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
All right, so what we are going to do, you know what, Duke? I hope he does. I hope Waddle has a great career. I hope that he's happy. I hope it all works out and he stays healthy, man. I'm rooting for him. Okay, guys, we're going to get into our mock draft. There's a lot to talk about. The positions that Miami should be targeting, wide receiver, interior offensive line, edge rusher, corner, safety, tight end. And then the secondaries, of course, right tackle because Austin Jackson restructured, but you should still look at tackle, linebacker, halfback, and quarterback. Halfback, we'll see how Ollie Gordon does, how they feel about Ollie Gordon by how they address it in the draft. Do they go after a Mike Washington? Do they go after an Adam Randall out of Clemson? Do they go after C.J. Donaldson? Depending, right? We'll see. I know they met with one guy out of Wake Forest. Oh, my gosh, I'm losing his name right now, the running back. I'll see his name during the draft. But anyway, Evan, you might chop off for a minute, but I'm going to bring you right back up when I bring up the big screen here. But give me a second. Go ahead and pull this up. Hog Dog says, trenches, trenches, trenches. Build the trenches. Let's ride. All right, we're going to go ahead and bring up Finstanza, and let us go here. All right. So I'm just going to tell you this. We'll see who's at the top 10. We'll see who's at 11 once we get to 11 after the top 10 run through here. And just because the Dolphins did the trade at 30, I would not sleep on a possible trade down if the offer's good enough. Okay, so we will entertain the trade offers, but we're going to have a lot of fun. The 30th pick is here. Let me double check. It's all good. I think it is. I'm sure it is. It is. So there you go. 30th pick.
There wouldn't be a very good stick to the model if you didn't.
I know, right? So, all right, here we go. All right, so Evan, I'm going to ask you very quick here before we get this going here. There you go. Thank you, Idleman. Yes, Damon Claiborne out of Wake Forest is the running back Miami met with. Smaller guy, speedster guy, one of those sleeper type of picks. So there you go. DSG says no wide receivers in the first round. Corner or wide receiver or edge Bailey falls to 11. There you go. Duke says corner or wide receiver. So go ahead. Keep rolling it down.
When do I ever let you down, DSG? Look behind my shoulder. I got the Achane jersey.
Took you long enough, brother. Anyway.
I did it when I promised. What did I say? I would buy my first piece of Dolphins merchandise the day they fired the guy who was going to get Jim Harbaugh fired and ruin Justin Herbert's career.
All right. So, Evan, who are the guys that you're hoping? Now, we're going to entertain trade offers, but if let's say we stay at 11, who are you hoping falls to 11? Give me 3 names.
David Bailey, Ruben Bain, and Sonny Styles.
Ooh, okay. Defense. All right.
Defense is going first pick, no matter what.
I love David Bailey. I love Ruben Bain. I'm iffy on Sonny Styles. Sonny Styles at 11. One of the tackles, especially Fanu or Francis Maunoa. Maybe Mansour Delane.
The defense is garbage right now on the Dolphins. It's like absolute putridity. They get a guy.
Receiver is as well. Carnell Tate, that's a talk. But anyway, cool. Love it. 3 names. Evan says Ruben Bain, Sonny Styles, David Bailey. Those 5, 6, and 7. Hoping for at least one of those guys to be sitting there. Let us ride and see how this plays out. Oh, I'm clicking on the wrong one. There we go. Styles went early. Bain went off the board. Let's go ahead and scroll up here.
Did I lose all 3?
You think he lost all three? So wait. So Mendoza goes 1, of course. Styles went 2 to the Jets. So I'm going to say this. So the last couple mocks that I've done, and the last one I did on live with FinStar Draft Show with Josh Wingate, Ty Simpson went 2. So you see it, and that was a few times Ty Simpson went 2. So now Styles goes 2. His
3 Ohio State
Arvell
people.
Reese goes 3. Tate goes 4, which the report is Jeremiah Love could be going to the Titans. Love goes to the Giants. Manoa goes to the Browns. David Bailey to the Commanders. Tyson goes to the Saints. Bain goes to Kansas City. CJ Allen has been flying up boards. Wingate has been giving him his praise. Traditional inside linebacker. I like him a lot. He goes to
Stick to the model. Stick to the model, Talonzo 29. Stick to the model.
So, who's available to us here? All right. So, surprisingly enough, but not surprising if you're seeing injury reports, and maybe that is where the trend is going. The third player on Stick to the Models board is Caleb Downs. Downs still available for Miami. Mansour Delane, Spencer Fanu on the board still. You know, I love that he's the highest rated tackle, offensive lineman on our board on the FinStock Draft Show. He could play guard. He could play tackle if you decide to move Jackson. Love him a lot. Like him. Could be the pick here. Makai Lemon, who now that Jaylen Waddle is moved, this could be a pick. 5'11", 196. I know everybody goes, oh, size. We just signed Tutu Atwell, who's 5'9". Okay. So Makai Lemon, even though he's that size, he plays big. Now, Wingate, he's not here, but he has talked about it before, and it was actually brought up a lot today on a tweet that I posted about his interview at the Combine, his press conferences. He supposedly bombed some interviews. However, he's the only reported, as of right now, top 30 visits for the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are going to meet with him, and which is interesting. That was reported before the Jaylen Waddle trade. It happened. Now you really start to think about it. So maybe Miami did not meet with Makai Lemon at the Combine, and so they're probably going to do their due diligence here and see that if he's there at 11, could he possibly be the pick? So, Evan, you're looking here just before we look at trades. What name or names? Give me top 3 or just one. If you were to make a pick here, who would be that pick?
They're showing up exactly in the order that I would take them. You want Kyle Hamilton? Go get Caleb Downs. You want to go get your linchpin corner for the next 10 years? Go get Mansour Delane. You want to shore up your offensive line and know who your offensive line is for the start of the season? Go take Spencer Fano. That's my order. Downs, Delane, Fano. I need defense. Jeff Hafley is getting his player that he wants on the defense. And if you want to get the closest thing to a Kyle Hamilton or a QB of defense, like I love the comment that Hog Dog 165 made, it is Caleb Downs. That is who I would take. So
for me, again, I understand, and I know Manzano's point. I understand the medical concern. Let's look that up for a second as we're doing it. Evan, can you do me a favor while I'm talking? Can you look up Caleb Downs and what was it in that? Was it a rumor? Was it an actual report from teams? Like what's coming out? Because when you start hearing about that sounds like a team trying to push him down. So can you look at that while I go ahead?
NFL teams dispute Caleb Downs' medical flag reports. To flag the torn meniscus. It's random stuff. It goes back 2 weeks. So people
let me know though.
It down.
Let me talk about this very quick, but check there and see if you see anything like a confirmation that this is an actual issue with him. We're gonna look at trades, Hog Dog. I just want to make sure. Caleb Downs, if there's no injury history and he's sitting there, I don't know how you say let's pass that up. That is a quarterback of your defense.
Pat McAfee said on March the 3rd on his show, we reach out to multiple NFL teams about Caleb Downs. They told us there was nothing in the medical that would defer them from bringing him in.
There you go. Okay, so you see, I don't want medical problems, but that's why you got to confirm medical problems. This is the thing with the draft. Okay,
Drew Brees.
This is the thing about the draft.
Yeah, Drew Brees.
You're going to see all these reported things coming out about players. You have to do your homework because there are teams that are going to say, I'm going to tell Evan, hey, Evan, did you hear about Caleb Downs? Evan goes, shit, I'm not going to take him. I'm going to pass up on him. I take him with the next pick. Smoke screen. That's why you got to confirm it. Anyway, so I'm with Evan. Well, first off, Caleb Downs, Spencer. Hold on, Spencer Fanu. Okay, that's a name I'm looking at here. Mansour Delane, like him a lot, and then Lemon. Those are the four. But let's look at some trades very quick. Let's just see. You got 2. Nothing crazy. All right, so Cowboys, 12 and 92. You move down 1 spot and you get a 92nd pick. Hold on. Vikings, you trade down 7 spots and you get the 49th pick. Evan, you look at this. To me, if I'm looking at this deal, I'm looking at the Cowboys. If I'm thinking, I could just trade and get a nice pick. I think that's the Caleb Downs pick. Are we comfortable losing Downs at that pick? I think that's the Caleb Downs pick.
I'll take Mansour Delane and I'll be happy.
So, where is it?
Get another pick in the second round. I would make that trade with Dallas. I won't drop as far as the Vikings because I don't want to lose out on Fano, Downs, and Delane.
Yeah.
So I would make the trade with.
My thing is, if it's Downs, I love Delane, but I'm leaning Fanu because I think I
understand that. I just said I'd be happy with either one.
No. I know. I'm just giving my point because you said yours. I'm giving mine. You know what I mean? It's yin and yang, bro. I know this is your second show since you came back. I know you're still a little bit rusty, but it's back and forth, my man.
You can't count third.
Is it the third? Did you do a third one? Maybe. Oh yeah, you did. You did. My bad. You did a breaking news, but that one don't count.
I know they don't count. I know that you may not count that far, but I count that far.
All right. So
2 American is 3 Canadian.
All right. Here we go. So yeah, I'm with you. Let's do it. Let's see what happens if we take 1 trade down. Let's hope it's Downs or Fanu who's still there. Maybe Delane gets picked up, but I think this is the Downs pick. And it is the Downs pick. Caleb Downs goes to Dallas, right? So they trade up, but you get that extra pick. But Delane and Fanu still on the board. And you get you get the 92nd pick. Debo Dolphins Dialogue says trade down again with the Rams. That would be funny if the Rams are actually on the board or actually trying to trade up. So the next trades are Cleveland asks you to trade up. They're giving you 24 and 39. That's a second round pick. Plus, so you just move down. Same thing with Houston. Get another second round pick. You move down to 28. Chargers 12. You get 22 and 55, and you move down 3 spots for 15 and 77 with Tampa Bay. Evan, your thoughts on these trade offs?
I want to make my pick. I like Delane. You like Fano. First round is yours. I'll make if you agree that you get to pick your pick at Fano, I get the choice at 30. So you either take my guy and Delane at 12, or you take Fano and you go with your guy, and then we reverse and we can disagree, but you have to be comfortable with Delane. If you're not comfortable with Delane at all, take Fano, and I'll consider, and then we can argue again at 30. So I'll be happy with Fano too.
I want to answer this because they asked me, do we not like Sadiq? I like Sadiq. I do like Sadiq. I just don't feel.
Don't tell you that. I
think I could get a really good. DSG's right. I really want my 30. But see, I'm open to conversation. Evan wants to do pick for pick. But
we're having the conversation.
No. I'm just saying, Eli. I know what you're saying. Eli Stowers is still available. You got other guys later on that I think we could get that could give you production. But I want a guy who's a game changer, game breaker, and I think the Sadiq is good. I don't want to get a tackle with an early pick. So he says drop the 15 and take Vega, take the guard out of Penn State if to trade down again and try to get Vega. But again, Fanu could play guard. You can move him to guard. So I don't know. All right. Let me see here. Trade 15, get 77. 3 spots, but risk losing Fanu. And you don't even guaranteed to get.
Okay, I agree with you. Take Fanu.
Okay. But you're not guaranteed a guard at 15 because Baltimore needs a guard. And, okay, so, yeah, I'm going to go and take Spencer Fanu here because he could play tackle, he could play guard, and he's my top offensive lineman in the draft, so I'm rolling with him. So we are at 30 here. And who's on the board? First of all, Dylan Thieneman, safety out of Oregon. We both like a lot. Colton freaking Hood is still on the board. You passed up on Mansour Delane, and Colton Hood is still on the board. That's big news. Massador, edge rusher, on the board. TJ Parker, Blake Miller from Clemson. We did go with Fanu, Emmanuel McNeil Warren, Chris Johnson. Evan, you're looking at these picks. Do you want to entertain a trade offer, or are you interested? To me, I love Thieneman, but I see Hood, and I'm salivating, my man.
I don't need to check under the hood. Draft Colton Hood.
I like it. Don't need to check under the hood. Draft Colton Hood. Here we go. So now we're at 43. And you got, look at that. You got two receivers there. You got Chris Brazil.
I'm already making my pick. I'm not even trading down. I'm already making my pick.
And again, this is my thing. I just want to highlight Zachariah.
My pick
Branch.
is there.
Hold on. I want to highlight Branch for a second. Okay, because this is another guy that you look at the size and you go, ugh. But you lost. You got rid of Tyreek Hill. You just traded away Jaylen Waddle. You talk about speed. When we got Malik Willis and you look at the way the offense was, you're like, holy crap. Speed, speed, speed. Yes, we want power. Yes, we want size. And there's a lot of size in this draft, especially later on as well. This kid is a playmaker. He has the speed. He has the power. I like him a lot. Wouldn't sleep on him. But you say you have the pick. What's your pick?
I'm going to wait to wide receiver on my next pick. I'm taking an edge rusher, and I'm taking Zion Young, and I'm running up there to take him. I want Zion Young at edge.
Zion Young. I love the whole no Oompa Loompas. Tutu Atwell. Malik Washington.
I want Zion Young.
I know. I'm just saying. I know everybody keeps talking about, and I love Zion Young. I'm just saying, everybody keeps talking about size. They're not going to take.
I'm not worried about size. I want Zion Young.
But either way, I'm going to see something very quick. Okay, good. No, I know my guy. I know my guy's still there. All right, we're going to go Zion Young because I like Zion Young. I'm going to roll with that. You're addressing your trenches. You got your tackle. You got your tackle offensive lineman. You've got your.
Now I'm going to wide receiver. I am drafting.
I want to show. Hold on. I want to say this for a second. So, wide receiver. Look at this. Chris Brazil went to the Ravens. Branch went to the Bucks. Chris Bell went to the Browns. I mean, that
poor Chris Bell.
Surratt went to the Texans. That Malachi Fields went to the New Orleans Saints. So here you should go wide at receiver here. This has to be that pick.
Ted Hurst.
Ted
Hurst.
Right, can I do my spiel and then you go ahead? Thank you. I appreciate it if you just mute your mic. No, I'm just fine. Anyway, yeah, no, I think Ted Hurst is the pick here again. 4.42
he's short.
Speed,
Oompa Loompa.
6'3", 206. Yeah, there's your Oompa Loompa. Kalen Rutledge, you can't sleep on that. Rutledge would be a good pick, especially if you want to just build the trenches, but also the depth. That would be a really good one. Don't sleep on Mike Washington Jr. in this draft, not just for Dolphins, but just in general. He got the size, he has the speed, he's an offensive pass repping. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Ted Hurst, and I'm not looking back. Let's see here. So we are now at 87. And let's see what we've done so far. So we did trade down from 11 to 12, got the 92nd pick. Got Spencer Fanu with the 12th pick. Colton Hood with 30. Zion Young with 43. Ted Hurst with 75. Loving how this is looking as of this point. Let's see here. Didu, Dolphins Dialogue says you could have double tapped with LT Overton, excuse me. Yeah. Dennis Sutton is right there. You could add to that pass rush. Zeke Whitley, you need
give me Zeke. Open up Zeke Whitley.
Oh, he has the size. He has it all.
I honestly, this is where I would actually go defense and really shore up the secondary along with Colton Hood at this pick, because you still have a pick and 3 picks, and I think the wide receivers will still be there.
Yeah.
I don't think Zeke Whitley. I think Zeke Whitley will be picked by the time we get to 90 by Denver or by Chicago. So I would.
But he's available here. He's available here. We don't have a safety. I think you could still get a corner.
I would take Zeke Whitley.
Yeah, I would take Whitley here and then look maybe at corner or another wideout with the next pick. So I'm going Whitley here. And there's something comes off the board.
I'm fine with.
So here, let me go ahead and pull this up.
Picking again in 4. So here I might go. How big is Jacoby Lane again?
Jacoby Lane's tall, 6'4", 6'4", 447. He's a big guy. He's big body, big body wide out. I like him a lot. Bryce Lance is the one who's going to be flying up, man. This is 4.34. He's 6'3", 204. I like him. I think that I
would do that there.
He is a I don't like player comparisons, but I think he's so Green Bay. He screams Green Bay.
Oh, he looks Green Bay.
Christian Watson type of player. I like Lance. I think Lance could be the pick. I would leave Takario Davis with the next pick, but that's
Lance.
Actually, you could get Takario probably in a second, but let me go back. So we saw some people in the comments talking about doubling down at edge rusher, and Anthony Lucas is still on the board. Let me go back to edge and just see for a second. But I'm going to tell you, these two guys right here, these are good picks. These are guys. There's a pass rusher here, a real good pass rusher. One season though.
Look at the D line.
Max Leron, another good pass rusher. But Anthony Lucas, talk about maybe shoring up again depth. Logan Jones, what he did at Iowa Center. That's
what are your thoughts on Darrell Jackson?
Like his
we haven't touched the line yet.
Oh, we've been adding a red rusher. I mean, again, I
think
about what was last year.
We're still relying on Sealer, Phillips, Biggers, and Grant.
But we signed out defensive line in free agency, and right, I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah. But I feel better about other prospects than that. So, let me see here.
What about scroll down a little bit? Scroll down a little bit.
Here,
there's one player who might be of interest to me. No, I'm gonna wait. Scroll down a little bit more.
No team has ever been so deep in dead cap to start a season ever. You idiots! Chris screwed you. Still got Malik Willis. Still had an eventful. Oh, so you still got 11.
Malik
I appreciate you watching, Ronald. You're awesome, bro.
Malik Willis or Geno Smith? Scroll down a little bit. Just scroll down a little bit more. I just want to go down a couple more shots. Okay, stop. Rashawn Berry still there. I remember I logged him last time. Okay, scroll back up. I can never have too many edge rushers. I consider Anthony Lucas. Big boy. Yeah.
I'm down with that. Let's get an edge rusher.
Let's go Anthony Lucas.
Oh, it's true. I just saw in the comments. Let me double check.
We have another pick and 2 picks, so it's a good pick.
Yeah. So I'm looking. Eli Raridan is a good tight end. Jack Andrews is another one. But
I'm not worried about tight end.
Sam Rush is a guy that I really like. That's a guy.
Can you tell me who's at running back for next pick? Emmett Johnson, John Coleman, Kate Nolan, Nelson Depp. Okay, we're not in a rush. Okay.
Yeah, no, we're good on running back at this time.
I like Claiborne, but
so I'm good with Anthony
Lucas.
I'm good with Lucas here, and then Bryce. No, not Bryce Lance. Corner in the next pick.
Sure.
So
corner,
and then
and the Rivers.
Corner, you got Dalen Everett, Will Lee, Takario Davis.
How big? Yeah, I take Takario Davis. We've been talking about him forever.
Yeah, Takario Davis, but he has 6'3", good size, good speed. He has decent. Willie has really good size too, 6'1", but 4.52. Everett's really 4.38, 6'1", good size.
Takario Davis is rushing up the boards.
He is flying up boards. So I'll go Takario here, and we'll let that ride. let's see here. 111 did go to the Broncos. Before I continue here, I want to look at something. So here we go. Spencer Fanu with the 12th pick. Colton Hood, pick 30. Zion Young, edge rusher. Ted Hurst, wide receiver, 75. 87 went safety with Zaquee Whitley. Bryce Lance went 90. Anthony Lucas and Takario Davis at 94.
Guess where I'm going at 130. What position?
Let's see here. Who are you
time
going?
to make an important pick at 130.
Is that right?
You can never have too many. I want competition for not the starting position, but the backup position. So can please go to quarterback, please?
Quarterback?
Quarterback at 130.
Okay.
I'm either taking here Taylon Green or Jewel. I want my big boy project to compete with Quinn Ewers, who is not a Jeff Hafley guy. He's not a John Eric Sullivan. So you can tell me if you disagree, and we probably can get one of them at 150.
I see your what's that called? Avatar now, Ronald. You're a Jets fan.
Of course, you didn't realize that.
I didn't notice that. I'm sorry.
Why do you think I said to Ronald, or well, you have Geno Smith, we have Malik Willis. Enough said. Jewel. So Drew, remember that Seattle game where he told the Jets where they can take, you know what, he ripped the Jets, and he went back there. So I'm taking Alar or Taylon Green, or if you want to wait till their next pick, we can do that. It's really up to you. But I take a quarterback. I would take a quarterback here.
So
the quarterback I want to have on my staff as a project.
Yeah, I'll just say
I'm a Alar guy.
I'll just say, you could scream it until the cows come home about we don't need a damn quarterback. We have two. One is a third round pick, former backup, who we're hoping to be something. Second is a 7th round pick who only had 2 games. And John Eric Sullivan has said he's bringing competition to the room. Competition to the room. Unless you haven't watched Green Bay years and years, year out, I don't sleep on a quarterback at any time. And if you're at this spot and one of those guys are sitting there and you think that guy is better than what's left on the board, you go do it. You go do it. So, but at this moment in time, there's still looking at Sam Roosh there at 142. Like him a lot. Good playmaker. He's still there, but Oscar Delp is still on the board. 6'5", 245. Look at what he has done. I like that they got their numbers on here. Jack Endries still on the board, 6'4", 245. Like, there you go, right there. So tight end would probably be somewhere where I would be.
Greg is agreeing with me. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate it.
Say what?
Duke likes Green, and Greg likes Alar.
Okay, I like that. All right. No, it's you pick Alar and you still.
Thank you, retiring student Nessie. I appreciate it.
Jack Strain is 6'5" mobile, has a good arm, can play in cold weather as well. There you go. There you go. You talking about Jack Strain? Are you talking about Endries, or are you talking about the quarterback? Are we missing on a quarterback? I'm not looking. I'm sorry.
What do you think about Bentley at tight end?
Haven't got a chance to really look at him. I don't want to say something that I don't.
Yes, he's there, Dean.
Taylon Green is
you like your Taylon Green project? I'm okay with Taylon Green here.
Taylon Green, though, I think we could wait a pick on Taylon Green in this mock.
So do you not want to look at quarterback to 151?
We could look at quarterback 151, but I'll say here, if I'm going quarterback here, I'm going Drew.
Okay, so I agree with Hodog. Go with Delp now. Get your tight end. And then wait, let's get the quarterback. I'm sure whether it's Sawyer Robertson, whether it's Taylon Green, whether it's
who will be an undrafted free agent?
One of them will be there at 151.
Wait, well, who will be an undrafted free agent? I just want to know. I want to make sure. I want to know who he's talking about before we continue the Dolphins dialogue.
One of the QBs.
Probably. I just want to make sure because I don't think so. I think Green's gonna fly up. Dad Dean says Roosh or Green. Let's see. The day says
Delp. Let's go with Delp.
Oh, thank you. All right. I'm going to write his name down. I appreciate you, man. That's who you're talking about. Okay. Write him down. But I'll watch him. It's my youngest screams here. Okay. Let's do it. Let's go ask Adele. So we're at 151. And
Still there at QB.
You got Cole Payton. You got Taylon Green still there.
There you go. Take Taylon Green. Don't even react. Take Taylon Green and run up the board.
Let's just do it.
You're not waiting until 220-something to go, so we only have 7th-round pick left. I'm loving this draft right now. Our team is set.
I think.
I'll be proud to sing that song.
I mean, Dolphins dialogue. You know who I'm intrigued by, who could be a UDFA quarterback. I see his name right there. Is Joey Aguilar out of Tennessee. He showed real promise, but with that injury and everything, he fell off and kind of the stuff that happened to him. But he's somebody that I'm intrigued by. Wait, I see a name and I'm really intrigued by that name. But I want to let me go back to our picks for a second. We double dipped on corner. I'm thinking we can, and we double dipped on edge. We double dipped at receiver. I want to double dip at safety because Jacoby Thomas is still there, and I can't pass up on Jacoby Thomas. You talk about a captain of a defense, some guy who's going to surprise some people, a guy who had a lot to do with Miami's defense. I would take Jacoby Thomas right here. Secure that secondary. Round it out. This kid could be a contributor, not only on your defense, rotational wise, but also on special teams. I'm really liking the idea of taking him there. Another pick. It's funny because it's 305. Maybe just fits because he's running back, but really he is a tight end fullback hybrid and very good inline blocker. Talk about getting rid of Ingold. Miami has said that they do that traditional fullback. I think Bredesen could be an option. Could be UDFA, but But yes, we did get the Zyke Whitley pick. But I for me right now, I'm pounding that table for Jacoby Thomas. Chase Roberts, if Miami doesn't get another receiver, they go and double dip right receiver early on. That might be an intriguing pick later on. Size alone, and probably upside. That might be something to look at. Inez Cooper's right there too. Physical guard like him, 6'6", big size. Brockermeyer. See, now I'm just, this is, center. I like him. His dad was a player in the NFL, so he has that pedigree. Man, I could be rolling there. Man, I'm going Jacoby here, though, Evan, but unless you talk me out of it, I'm going Jacoby Thomas.
I'm good.
All right. We are flying down the board.
The day 2026 seems to be didn't get enough beef at the store at this draft. But I think they're between Charlie Hecht, Andrew Meyer, Donna Savanaya, Spencer Fanu. The group, we can only have so many tackles. I think they can still get ones in free agency. I don't need to go get one in the draft. Same thing with I'm just getting the best player available that we think that's still on our board in the 7th round.
So,
like I like Eli. Like, for example, I know who got brought up. Like, we haven't picked a running back yet, and I heard decent things. We saw it on the last draft. So, I like Eli Heinrich.
Here's my issue with Heidenreich.
Right.
First off, Swiss Army knife. Receiver, running back. He's a hybrid. Playmaker. But here's the problem.
Too small.
Well, that's the size, right? Okay, fine. And again, however, I'm not only going to say that, though. He's committed. He has the service. He has to get past his service in order to play. That's a thing with me, or that's a thing that's going on. So I probably would look the other way at this time. I like the idea. Maybe you draft and stash, but now if you really want to look at running backs, again, Miller is not a bad pickup. CJ Donaldson, you talked about him. He's touchdown friendly, big size. You just need a red zone threat. That could be your guy there. 10 touchdowns last season. Another guy I was looking at is already gone. That's okay. Again, Brodison, though, I talk about the fullback option. But if you're talking about offensive line, you're talking about girth, you're talking about sizing it up, adding depth. Inez Cooper, man. Inez Cooper. Ollie freaking Gordon. I'm not done with Ollie Gordon. I'm just saying there's option there. Another UDFA is Raleigh.
You need 4 running backs.
There you go. I like that, man. I appreciate you.
You need 4 running backs in camp.
You do, but you can get a UDFA, especially with what's left on the board. If I'm looking at what's left on the board.
Best available? Who's best available?
Patrick Payton.
Yeah, we don't need another edge. Diego Pounds at Ole Miss. Cole Wazinski.
Oh, line.
So go. Let me see. Let me see Diego Pounds. How much on him?
Just look at his size. Like, look, this is late round. This is just adding girth. This is, but here's the thing.
Oh, is Logan Fano in any relationship to Spencer Fano?
I played for Utah. Fano. I know. I thought the same thing. I got to look him up. I'm going to look him up. I wrote down my notes. Because we got Spencer. You want to tag maybe his cousin or his brother. Dude, I'm telling you, we saw Miami in the playoffs. We saw this O-line. Look at this. Look at this.
On you. They were watching that national championship game. They were there.
I'm saying, dude, this is
scouting.
I'm telling you right now.
Backyard.
I'm telling you right now. This mock, it's a pretty damn good mock.
Oh my God, B+, A-. We don't. What's our worst grade? A B?
B- is the worst grade.
Really?
But again, this is just based off a B+. So let's round this out, right? So we did trade down. We traded down one spot from 11 to 12. We added the 92nd overall pick. With the 12th pick, we passed on an opportunity to take Caleb Downs. He was available at 11, but we knew trading down to Dallas to get that extra mid pick, top 100 pick, Caleb Downs was more likely pick. Ended up being correct. Caleb Downs gets off the board. We get Spencer Fanu. Offensive tackle. What happens with Austin Jackson? Do you move Austin Jackson inside? Do you move Fanu inside? Now you have that option. You got Colton Hood at 30. We got Colton Hood at 30. Like, everybody talks about McCoy. And yes, if McCoy was healthy and he played, he'd be a top 10 pick. But he didn't play. You know who did play and who was pretty goddamn good? Colton freaking Hood. So getting him at 30 and putting him in your secondary is a damn good thing to do. Zion Young. Supposedly there's some off the field thing going on. I don't know too much about it, but I really do love Zion Young coming off the edge. That guy is potential is skyrocketing. Ted Hurst, size, speed. Yes, he played for Georgia State, but this kid could end up being a number one guy. He has that potential. Can he be that? Maybe. But Spencer, start with a Fanu, ending with a Fanu. Yeah, I know. That would have been funny. Safety, Zaki Whitley from Penn State. Get the safety. Then we go double dipping on wide receiver. We go get Bryce Lance, who's flying up the board. He may be out of this pick. Ted Hurst is flying up. He was a 6-7 rounder. He moved up to the 3rd round, but that more than likely is the case. Anthony Lucas double dipped on edge rusher. Takario Davis, corner, double dipped at corner. Oscar Delp at tight end. Talon Green. There's your stash. There's your developmental guy. You know, maybe he shows out in preseason. Maybe he blows up, comes in during the season, and has an amazing year. He sits behind Malik Willis. Jacoby Thomas at 227, and then Inez Cooper at guard for the Dolphins. So Miami goes 2 Hurricanes at the wrap it up. I absolutely like this draft. I like it a lot. It's very purdy. It's purdy. I like it. Let's see. Let's see here. We weren't going to trade with anybody. We were going to accept offers, not trades. But I will say, DSG earlier on Finn's TV and tonight was talking about we need at least 3, home runs, whatever, 3 contributors, whatever. You got them here. Fanu is a starter. Colton Hood is a starter. Young is a rotational starter. Anthony Lucas, Bryce Lance, he's contributing. Zaki Whitley, starter. Takario Davis, potential rotational starter. Like, there are hits here. So let's see here. A Hog Dog says A+, 5 or 6 starters, and maybe more. There you go. Oh, man. All right. Zion has a DUI issue. Okay. Life happens. I get it. Let's see. Jeff Caldwell. Yes, Caldwell is a guy that you want to pay attention to. Like him a lot. Stripling as well. McAllister, all good guys with size. Apps freaking lootly. Like it a lot. Let me make sure I'm not missing out on anything here. So, no, again, this was what we didn't do is we didn't go wide receiver with the first 2 picks. Doesn't mean that won't happen. Again, if Carnell Tate or Mekhi Lemon, if Miami meets up with Mekhi Lemon, again, people talk about size and all this, the player comparison of Mekhi Lemon, for instance, is every time I, see somebody talking about him is Amon-Ra St. Brown. How many of us would want Amon-Ra St. Brown on the Dolphins right now? I think all of us, right? So, if he's really like that, if Miami falls in love with him, I'm down with it. A Homer J. Simpson, appreciate you watching. He says you have 53.
That's my buddy.
There you go. Appreciate you. Swiss Army Knife, Dan Villa out of Syracuse. Dad Dean says A- draft fellas, B for the day 2026. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for throwing your grades up in there. For FTSN tomorrow, I will be live with Alex on East Entry Boys talking Miami Heat. We will talk Jaylen Waddle, so make sure you join us and have some fun. We'll be laid back. We'll be talking about life and having fun. If you're familiar with the show, come and enjoy it.
The penguin melted under the Florida sun.
Oh.
Is it me
Thursday, Fins Talk today with Sammy and myself. And it's Saturday, No Holds Barred Wrestling, WrestleMania 4. So make sure if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Please bring it in, join us, and enjoy the show, man. And let us know. You don't always have to agree. We'll go back and forth. We have a blast. We welcome everyone, even Jet fans. We have everything here on FTSN.
We put up with Russ freaking Morgan.
We put up with Russ Morgan. He's our resident Jets fan. He covers baseball. Hog Dog says, my favorite is Bryce Lance. Don't sleep on him. He will be a starter week 1.
And he's a Yankee fan.
Yep. Big. Love that, Hog Dog. Man, Bryce Lance, he's a real good watch. He's a real good watch, and I'm with you. Today says, thanks for the show. I appreciate you, my man. We got Dolphins Dialogue gave us a A-. Dad Dean says, maybe if we could get Zion and DDS next time. Yeah. Hey, Dennis Sutton, that's what he played with. Chop.
We had him on the last one.
All right. Yeah, that's true. It did. Evan, any final thoughts before we wrap this one up?
That was a phenomenal draft. I think we're 2 for 2. I love these late night shows. Couldn't ask for anything more. Appreciate everyone watching up at this late hour. We're going to keep this going. It's fun. It's consistent. 9 freaking picks in the top 94. Thank you, Sully. You are making this offseason very enjoyable. We got rid of Curly, Larry, and Mo. My dream for the 2025 season has come true. The 3 boneheads are gone. It's a new day. Yes, it is.
There you go. Dolphin fans, we appreciate you tuning in on this evening. It is now 12:01 midnight. Happy Wednesday. Like, subscribe, and most importantly, Dolphin fans, as always, it's up.
It's up.